Well, 21 health points. Not a good result. Back of the tank should be always easier to penetrate, right? Then, well, T18 is very well armored. Hi guys, this is Neil and today we continue with the Ancestor series. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. So, yesterday we went through the history and gameplay of Renault FT. Today we are going to go through the statistics, some comparison and gameplay of T1 Cunningham. Let's start with the Renault FT, just like we started last time. If we compare Renault FT to others, it have a great DPM, almost 700, which is one of the best in the tier. It have the best gun penetration, the best in the tier, so it can deliver this great damage reliably. The alpha damage per shot is not so high, 25, but it does have 6 rounds in autoloader, so a burst damage is 150 damage per clip, but that clip takes 6 seconds to empty, so it's kind of half autoloader, half normal gun. The great or another great thing on this gun is the best shell velocity, which is very fast, almost 1000 meters per second. Aim time is not bad at all, gun dispersion is kind of average. The main problem with the gun is the gun depression. Even though we can deliver very reliably, we have to peek out a lot, peek way much more than others, because 4 degrees of gun depression is very low. And as this tank doesn't have great armor, this I would consider as the main trade-off. Basically, you can lose loads of health points just trying to deal the damage you can do. Also, the very interesting thing is the power to weight ratio is the best in the tier with 22.29, but the top speed is actually the worst. So the Renault FT gets up to the speed very fast, but it's actually very slow. Looking from the health point of view, as I said, armor is not that great. It's not the worst, but it's not good, and it have the lowest amount of health points, so it can get easily killed, especially when you try to peek out and kill someone else. Continuing on Renault Otsu, that's a bit different tank. The DPM is rather average. It's not the worst, but it's not really good one. It have pretty bad penetration, one of the worst, with 32.8, means you can ricochet shots. And it doesn't have burst damage, it doesn't have a clip. So yeah, it's more peek out, shoot and hide. What helps to this strategy is 22 degrees of the gun depression. Is the best in the class, and in combination with the best armor in a class, I think this tank is made for ridges. Lovely fights over the ridges. I think it's made for a mines map, especially for the middle parts of the map. Also, the gun dispersion is the best in class, and the aim time is on the other hand worse. So yeah, I would say Renault Otsu is kind of opposite to Renault FT. It's also the slowest tank, and power to weight ratio is also the worst. So yeah. Now, a man in the middle would be Renault NC31, the Chinese one. The DPM is same as on the Renault Otsu, but it doesn't have that great gun depression. The gun depression of this one is 6 degrees, which is second to worst. So yeah, it doesn't allow us to do lovely work over the ridges. And it's not even the best armored. It have the same armor as Renault FT, so you can get easily killed. You don't have the gun depression, you don't have the DPM, so it's not really a great tank. It's not terribly bad, but it's not great. Let's move on. MS1. The best DPM in a whole tier, 836 damage with a 9-shot autoloader. I know there is a gun which have a better penetration, but we sacrifice a lot of DPM, so I think this is the better option. It does have 30 mm of penetration, so it's basically very similar to Renault Otsu, but it have autoloader and 25% more DPM than Renault Otsu. The burst damage of the autoloader is 180 damage in 1.6 seconds. So you can go deal 108 damage, hide for 6 seconds or 6.5 seconds to reload full clip and go on and do another 108 damage. That's pretty cool. The shell velocity is also one of the best in a tier. Aim time is not great, it's kind of average. Gun dispersion is the worst in the tier with 0.54, so this tank is mostly for close combat, I would say. Gun depression is 8 degrees, so it's kind of average. Powder weight ratio is average as well, but the top speed is much better than Renault FT or Renault Otsu or Renault NC31. It's 32 kilometers an hour. If we move on with HP and armor, it's also kind of average, so I wouldn't try to trade shots. I would try to peek out, deal that 108 damage and hide. So these 4 tanks were the Renaults. Now let's continue with the T1 Cunningham, the tanks which we will be playing today, and that's a very interesting tank because the DPM is not really bad, penetration is as bad as MS1, 30 mm. It does have autoloader which deals 120 damage in 1.1 second, but it takes to reload 10 seconds. So more damage in shorter time, but then a longer reload. I would call it negative, but it's not that bad. It's not the worst autoloader in a tier, I would say. Aim time is pretty good, it's kind of average. Dispersion is kind of average. Gun depression 7 degrees is not bad, but it's not great either. And now the speed. The power to weight ratio is not the top, but it's second to best after Renault FT, but the top speed is 41 km an hour, which makes it the fastest tier 1 tank. Also it have a great amount of health points, 270, but it have worse armor. You can actually penetrate with HE the front of the T1 Cunningham. So yeah, I think you have more health points just to survive one more shot. The main goal in this tank, I think, is to move around and not get hit instead of trading shots. Now, Light Tractor. Light Tractor have second to best DPM in a tier with 720. It's very decent DPM, but it lacks in penetration, just like most of the autoloaders. It have also 30 mm of penetration. The burst damage is 108 damage in 2 seconds, so I think this is the worst autoloader in a tier, but on the other hand it has pretty good aim time, and this aim time is kind of compensated by one of the worst gun dispersions. Gun dispersion of 10 degrees allows us to play around the ridges, not as well as Renault Otsu, but good enough. Top speed is second to best, and it have another advantage, and the light tractor have the best view range, so you can try to work more about giving intelligence to your team and spotting enemies before they spot you. The armor is not the worst, but far off being the best. 40mm from the front is worse than Renault FT and better than T1 Cunningham and weaker medium 1. And now the last one, medium 1. The DPM is the worst of all and significantly worse. The penetration is second to best after Renault FT with 45mm, and I would advise you to use not the autoloader but the 57mm gun, and because it deals 120 damage in a HE shot using HE shell. So you don't need an autoloader to deal massive amount of damage. You can peek out, have a shot and hide. You are allowed to do this by having one of the best gun dispersions. Aim time is not really good, but it's not that bad, and the gun depression of 7 degrees allows us to move around the mines map quite well. The top speed of this tank is still faster than Renault FT, but thanks to the power to weight ratio it takes quite time to get up to this top speed. Medium 1 have also same amount of health points as T1 Cunningham, but it have the worst armor out of all of them. It's just big cartoon box, so 6mm around the tank means most of the HE shots can go through. So you have more HP, but you will lose them very fast. If I were you, I would play medium 1 close to like turreted tank destroyer, not like light tank. If I were to describe each of these tanks with few sentences and assign them to the classes which we know in higher tiers, I would do it like this. Renault FT, it's a great medium, reliable DPM with a great penetration and aim. It does have average armor and bad gun depression, which makes it kind of easy to kill when it's tried to deal damage. Renault Otsu is heavy. It's best armor, it has also gun depression, but it's terribly slow. Renault NC31 is medium, kind of not bad, but not great either. MS1, it's also medium, it's fast, but not as fast as T1. It has pretty good autoloader, it's good all-around tank. T1 Cunningham, that's the light tank. It's fast, nimble, it has quite loads of HP for a light tank, but it has terrible armor and the gun is not really good. Light tractor is kind of medium, it has good gun depression, so it can fight over the ridges, and it has the best view range. And the medium one would be a tank destroyer. It's a big box with a derp gun, easy to kill and hard to aim, but delivers the punch. So let's have a game or two in this T1 Cunningham I spoke at the beginning, and yeah, enjoy the fun. So the mind map, and we are the only tier 1 in this game. Enemy team doesn't have heavily armored tanks, but the BT2 is a smaller rocket, so we might meet BT2 right here, right now. No one? Well, T2 medium. Cautious play. Oh, pretty aim. No. Oh, NC1. Interesting. Good. So, we removed... Oh no 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 no, Chinny. Come on! FT, don't die here! Please! Well... Okay. Run away! T18 is chasing us. And... Oh, T2 medium saved the game. Yay! Third kill, lovely. T18 is, look at him, he's just waiting here, destroying our guys. Move, 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 move. Good. Let's help with this T2 medium. 57. Interesting enough. T2 medium just missed. Fourth kill being the only tier 1. Pretty good result, isn't it? Climbing up. Come on, come on, come on. Use the speed, fix the tracks. Let's go and kill the T18. He looks... he's turning. Okay, so we can use this information and try to flank him and use Circle of Death to go around him. Well, 21 health points, not a good result. Huh? Back of the tank should be always easier to penetrate, right? Then, well, T18 is very well armored. So this is the moment I'm going to switch to APCR. 67 is much better. Yeah, 5th kill, being tier 1, pretty good game, I liked it. Lovely, and we mastered it actually, so yeah guys, I think that's it. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do so, please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you tomorrow and on the battlefields.